In today's module, we are going to master the ancestral ways to reduce stress. If you have closely observed, you must have noticed your grandparents or your greater grandparents lived a much lesser stress-free life as and when compared to this generation or the generation which has come after us. What was the reason that our ancestors were able to live such a stress-free life? This is module 1, guys, of the 27 modules that we are going to talk about, Decode Circadian Rhythm. So, presenting you Module 1, Decoding Circadian Rhythm, Master Ancestral Ways to Reduce Stress. So, without any delay, let's just get started with what is circadian rhythm. If you are new to this concept, don't worry about it. I'm going to explain it to you in a very brief and beautiful format. It's an internal clock, your body's 24-hour natural cycle. All right? If you're eating every day at 1 p.m., every day by default your body tells you to, it gets hungry at 1 p.m. every day. If you're sleeping at say 10 p.m. every day, naturally you'll feel so tired and exhausted by 10 p.m. that you will feel sleepy by 10 p.m. every day. So that is what circadian rhythm is. It's your body's natural 24-hour cycle. It is hormone regulation mechanism. It influences release of hormones like cortisol, which alerts you. So cortisol is an alert hormone which is released because of circadian rhythm, and also the melatonin, the sleep hormone. And finally, the third thing that it helps you is your sleep-wake cycle. Sleep-wake cycle dictates your natural sleep and wake times, impacting energy level and alertness. So it is because of circadian rhythm, you get up or you rise. That cycle, 24-hour cycle pattern is kind of being inserted within your system, and that is what impacts the energy level and alertness. Let me show you this particular diagram for you to understand better. Say at 6 a.m., all right, this is a graph. The dotted line says melatonin, which is the sleep hormone, and the dark line is cortisol, which is alertness. So at 6 a.m., you see the alert hormone is way over the sleep hormone. So you're supposed to be naturally awake at 6 a.m. The transition, however, happens somewhere around 4 a.m. At around 5:30 p.m., because the sun is now about to set, the sleep hormone takes over the alert hormone. At about 10 p.m., your sleep hormone is way over your alert hormone. This is time you wrap up. Whenever 9:30 ke aaspas, you should wrap up. But in our ancestral days, post 5:30, 6:30 p.m., when the sun did set down, there was no other means to impact, to light up their houses or the caves, and because of which they naturally slept at around 5:30 to 6 p.m. So that is what this map was trying to show you. Now, how does it work? Let me tell you. When the light, this is the SCN, this somewhere here is your eyes. When the light enters through your eyes, it signals SCN to regulate the wake cycle. All right, let me explain you. जब सुबह होता है, जब पर्दे से, or naturally, when it's morning, light enter your eyes, and because of which it signals the SCN somewhere in your brain to produce the alert hormone. And the second thing it does is, when light does not enter your eyes, when it gets dark, melatonin is created in your body because that SCN is not getting the signal for you to produce the alert hormone. Henceforth, it will start producing the sleep hormone. Moving ahead, what is the ideal circadian rhythm? Now let's go back to our school days. पुराने दिनों में जाओ, जब आप बच्चे थे, स्कूल में थे, या आप अभी स्कूल में हो, तो उन दिनों को याद करते हैं and understand how natural rhythm works. So getting started with our school system. Now this is the routine that I followed, guys. I was in a boarding school nestled in a Himalayan town called Darjeeling, and that's where this was the routine, and I suppose most of us must have had the same sort of a routine. Thoda upar niche hua rahega if you were in boarding. If not, still there would have been a lot of similarities. So at 6 a.m., when the cortisol peaks, it's wake up time, groom, study, breakfast, these are the times, though we woke up at 5, but I just summed it up because I had to do it in little screen space. So 6 a.m. के आसपास जब कॉर्टिसोल, जब मैंने आपको क्या बताया था कि 6 a.m. कॉर्टिसोल जो होता है, जो अलर्टनेस हार्मोन होता है, वो अपने स्लीप हार्मोन मेलेटोनिन से ऊपर होता है. तो इस समय क्या करना चाहिए? स्कूल में क्या करते थे? वेकअप करते थे, ग्रूम करते थे, स्टडी करते थे, ब्रेकफास्ट करते थे. 9:30 बजे से 3:30 बजे तक जब पीक अलर्टनेस होता था, जब आपका अलर्ट हार्मोन इज वे ओवर एट इट्स पीकेस्ट as in when compared to your melatonin, which is your sleep hormone, that's the time when you go for your morning class, have your lunch, have your afternoon classes. So that is what you did in the peak hours. At around 3:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. when your alertness is dipping, when the melatonin is sharply rising and taking over cortisol, that's the time you had tea, you played a little bit of sports, you did groom yourself again in the evening. Then I remember we did have evening studies, then we would dinner, and then we would socialize. Finally, at about 9 p.m. when the melatonin was rising sharply and overtaken cortisol, that's the time to have dinner, read, prepare for sleep. That's the ideal circadian rhythm. What now? Something I would want to mention here. What changes, guys? As adults, what changes? Just think about it. So if I was to think, nothing changes. अभी भी सुबह 6 बजे तो सूरज उगता ही है. दोपहर में the sun is at its peak, meaning the alertness hormone is at its peak. Evening again, there is a dipping energy, and night we generally want to sleep. So what changes as an adult? Nothing changes. It's just that instead of going to the school, we are going to the office. Everything else ideally should remain the same. Now, why align habits with this rhythm, with your rhythm? Why? Because of the mind, body and soul. तीनों एंगल से हम लोग देखते हैं. माइंड में enhances focus and mental clarity. ठीक है, माइंड आपका जब आप सुबह उठते हो तो आपका मेंटल क्लैरिटी बहुत अच्छा होता है. Reduces decision fatigue. If you're aligned with this natural rhythm, you would feel that decision fatigue drastically diminishes and stabilize moods and emotions. Try get up with the rise of the sun and sleep with the setting of the sun. Your mood and your emotions will all be intact. When it comes to the body, it maximizes natural energy peaks. Alright, so बॉडी में जो कॉर्टिसोल और मेलेटोनिन का जो हार्मोन फ्लक्चुएशन है उसको मैक्सिमाइज करेगा बॉडी. improves sleep quality because your body has adopted that system of getting up with the rise of the sun and sleeping with the setting of the sun. So it improves your sleep quality. It supports long-term health. It does. Look at the person who gets up early in the morning. Look at his face. Look at the charisma. Look at the sign. Look at the hair. Look at the quality of the fingers, nails, hair, whatever you talk about. It's just at a different level. From the soul level, it brings a sense of peace and inner order. Trust me, it does. आज मैं उठा हूँ सुबह 3 बजे. It's bringing such a sense of peace and inner order. It builds identity-based discipline. I am this person. ठीक है, अगर आप सुबह उठते you'll be able to identify yourself more because you go deeper in search of yourself when everyone is sleeping. And it strengthens self-trust and self-respect. So you can take a screenshot here if you would want to understand why align habits with your rhythm. Simple tips for aligning your circadian rhythm. बहुत simple basic tips देता हूँ. Morning में consistent रहो अपने wake-up routine के साथ. Afternoon में काम करो. ठीक है, वही मैंने जो difference आपको बताया between a child who goes to school and an adult. Morning you still get up, even a child gets up. Afternoon you go to work, the child goes to school. Evening में socialize करो या थोड़ा sports खेलो, जो करना है करो. And night में go to sleep. I understand people, there are a lot of people who may be thinking, यार हमारे तो ऑफिस है शाम को 8-9 बजे तक. Fine. There will be a different routine for you, but once you adapt that routine, it has to be stable. It has to be like that. You cannot, even if you say, going to sleep at, or your office shuts down at 8 p.m., you still have that 2 hours of window when you can do a lot of winding up activities. So if you're consistent with that, you'll still fall asleep. Your body just needs to adopt. All right, we'll talk about it in the later modules, but let's just move ahead. At night, fall consistently sleep at the same time. So real life application, पहले आप inconsistent sleep, low energy, missed habits था, but after you've applied the circadian rhythm theory in your life and understood its impact, you'll have aligned schedule, consistent routine, and improved energy. The next step is, guys, identify your rhythm. Pay attention to your energy levels and natural patterns. Pay attention to it. Start small. Choose one habit to align with your circadian rhythm. Just one habit. हर चीज़ को बदलने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. Be consistent. Make it a daily habit and see the positive impact. After this, guys, we are going to hit Module 2, Decode 12 binary hours, wherein we are going to optimize peak productivity based on the present right now. अभी हम अपने excuse me, अभी हम अपने आप को सबसे ज़्यादा प्रोडक्टिव कैसे बना पाए इस घंटे में, इस आवर में, इस मिनट में. हाउ डू आई डू दैट इज़ वॉट वी आर गोइंग टू टॉक इन द नेक्स्ट मॉड्यूल. थैंक यू सो मच for patiently listening. If you did like anything, please do write comment. I would also like you to subscribe because it's going to get very interesting. Thank you so much. This is Rupesh signing off, India's first digital life mapping coach.